Earlier this week, I spent some time leading a workshop with a group of loss prevention professionals from a terrific Australian retail organisation. And the topic of the workshop was how to effectively diagnose a loss problem. And what we did was we created a framework and a system of steps which anyone can use to diagnose any particular loss problem. Here's a look at what that framework looked like. Okay, so if I start by drawing a funnel, the first 3 steps in the funnel was assess data, curiosity over checklists, and tour sites. Now, in a video that I shared earlier this week, we talked about the problem in retail stores is not that they have not enough data. It's actually that there is too much data. And the opportunity is, how do we really glean the insight that the data is trying to tell us? What I will say is, once you start working through the data and the insights, that's really where you start to become curious. And when we talk about curiosity over checklists, what I mean is that checklists and audits are really common, particularly in loss, and they are essential. They provide a good, clear standard of what's to be expected when it comes to loss process. But if we're too focused on checklists, we then don't truly see what's beyond directly what's in front of us. And that's why we advocate for being curious, asking open-ended questions, observing team and customer behavior. And your curiosity will indeed be guided by the data and the insights that you have reviewed earlier. Now, what will happen here is that when you pair these two, apply that insights, and we talk about touring sites, including stores, distribution centers, suppliers. And when you're trying to understand any particular problem, not just loss, it's crucial that we spend time in sites. You can't diagnose a problem just by looking at numbers or pieces of paper. Be at the coalface. And really what should be happening is that everything will start to become a lot clearer by this point. And as you continue to work through each of those 3 steps, this is the point at which you will be able to diagnose your problem. Now, it's not enough just to diagnose the problem. You've got to be able to influence and offer solutions. And the influencing part is really critical. How we influence key stakeholders cross-functionally is more important in loss than ever before. And that way you're able to use the data and the evidence that you've gained, both quantitative and qualitative, to help influence the outcomes and to be able to offer the solution. The last part, and probably one of the most important parts, which should happen well after you've diagnosed the problem, is our ability to nurture partnerships. Partnerships are critical, and the importance of building relationships, it cannot be understated. And once you've diagnosed the problem and you've offered the solution, keep in touch, share information, check in. It will make a huge difference to helping create sustainable loss solutions. In summary, we call this the action framework to diagnosing a loss problem, because it's all about our ability to assess data, be curious over checklists, tour sites, influence and offer solutions, and nurture partnerships.